Mnangagwa also vowed to open a probe into violence that followed the country's first election since the axing of Robert Mugabe. He also promised zero tolerance for corruption in the country.
The prosecution of perpetrators of corruption will be carried out with zero tolerance. In the Second Republic, no person or entity will be allowed to steal, loot, or pocket that which belongs to the people of Zimbabwe. No one is above the law. This is a new Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwe we all want.
We're going to continue with more political analysis on the situation in Zimbabwe. Let's now welcome once again Mr. Tino Mambeu, a political analyst with me in studio. Tino, you heard, of course, the promises of the newly inaugurated president of Zimbabwe. Promises no corruption and promises a wide range of things. But do you feel that an old regime can actually bring about new, fresh ideas and reforms to that country?
It is not entirely possible. I think, let me take you back to November, when the soldiers rolled tanks into the street. Well, it was a revolution supported by the masses of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
They said we are targeting criminals around President Robert Mugabe. And we thought they were real criminals around him. But at the end of the day, I think we are now 10 months down the line. I have not seen any criminal that has been arrested or in any event that has been charged for committing such heinous crimes that would warrant the involvement of the Republic's army and the tanks in the roads. So judging with such statements and also his inauguration speech that promised zero tolerance to corruption, we have not seen anything happening. In any event, Mr. Mnangagwa went on to say that he has got the names of people that externalized money, that were participating in money laundering over the years. He published some names and he said those that would not meet the 30 March deadline would be arrested and would be prosecuted. We have never seen any prosecution happening. It's quite unfortunate that...
But isn't he himself also, Tino Mnangagwa, fingered in the killings of some people during the Mugabe regime that were actually attacked by the army?
Well, in 2008, you remember that Mr. Mnangagwa was key. He was the presidency campaign manager, the chief elections officer for Mr. Mugabe. He is well known to have, mobilized the army and the war veterans against the people of Zimbabwe. So when we look at him, we do not really have so much of kind words. Now that we have got an election that has been disputed, this election which has resulted in him being declared a winner, it all goes back to, it all brings back the memories of the past injustices that he has, he has been in charge of. So at the end of the day, there is nothing much to take home. In any event, South Africa, which is also, represented by Mr. Ramaphosa, President Ramaphosa in Zimbabwe today, he should also be looking at the number of Zimbabweans that are going to be crossing the border into South Africa. That is going to, to increase tensions around xenophobia. That is going to increase tensions around unemployment in South Africa. So it is only fair and wise for the region to try and make sure that election processes bring about legitimate outcomes. But it seems as if the leaders in SADC, the leaders in the African Union, they don't learn. They want things to boil, they want things to go their own way. As long as as the liberation parties are in power, they are not really concerned. I think I should also take you back. You had the war veterans before the Concord judgment. Not before the judgment, the sitting of the Concord. They said we are ready to take up arms. We will not let this country go into the hands of Mr. Chamisa. So it only shows the kind of people that we have, the kind of liberation fighters that we have within our system that need to be probably flushed out in a way. But I do not know how, because they don't listen to the protocol and means of election.
Let's go back to that constitutional court ruling, Tino, because we know now that the MDC has made it very clear that they're not just going to take this lying down, they're going to do something about it, and they're going to take it to the Banjul Commission. What do you foresee happening there? Do you foresee any success for the MDC, for the people of Zimbabwe?
Well, it is generally hoped that the Banjul Commission is different from the Haina Concord that we saw in Zimbabwe. I say Haina Concord because they appeared like hyenas instead of appearing like people that represented the will of the people. They took much of their energy and much of their time in attacking the applicant, other than trying to understand the argument that was being brought forward by the applicant. So that presents them as hyenas that are not willing to hear cries of the people, and also the punitive measures that they said the case is hereby dismissed with costs. And ZANU-PF is already clamoring costs about $3 million US dollars. And $3 million US dollars is about 45 million rands. For what in the life of ourselves we don't understand. Just for challenging an outcome that, declared Mr. Mnangagwa the winner. Now going to the Manjuru Commission. We know that whatever judgment that they can come up with, he has no ability or reason or power to influence decisions of a sovereign country. So what we could get from there is the delegitimation of the win by Mr. Mnangagwa, and it will also pile political pressure on his regime. But the problem is we don't understand whether Mr. Mnangagwa and his administration have the heart, the people's will at heart. I will tell you why I say they don't have a people's will at heart. When we have two advocates coming from South Africa to try and participate in a constitutional court case, and they are denied exemption permits, and we have got 300,000 Zimbabweans who were given exemption permits for free. The first time I think it was for free, and it has been renewed time and again. It shows that we have got an administration that has no feeling, that has no humanity. That is the problem we are suffering with in Zimbabwe. It's an administration that do not have the inner man, spirit is Ubuntu, abanas.
You know, Tino, when you talk like that, I mean, I was speaking to Dr. Mpofu, you caught the final parts of our interview there. I mean, I spoke to him about this, and this was a sentiment I got from him, that when the dust finally settles, the discontent is going to rise among the Zimbabwean people because they're going to see that they've been shortchanged.
We have been shortchanged before. I tell you for a fact that I participated in the march to try and, to get Mr. Mugabe out of power. I was there, I was jubilant. I was obviously, excited to be able to see the back of Mr. Mugabe, after having been born under his rule. But at the end of the day, we have not really seen the benefits of that. In any event, we have glorified an army that has gone on to kill people in the streets. However, power, as long as it is in the hands of people that do not know how to use it, it remains irrelevant. They might say they have power, but as long as that power does not dissipate to the pockets of the people where they will feel power in their pockets, then it's useless power. It can't be celebrated. All
right, Tino, we're going to leave it there. We're totally out of time now. That is Mr. Tino Mambeu joining us here in studio with his sentiments on the Zimbabwean election inauguration and constitutional court case. Coming back home for